fans, do you want to win your share of $100,000? Simply enter the houseofboxing.com Fight Night Prediction Challenge. Compete with boxing fans around the world. Simply head over to houseofboxing.com and sign up now.
This is Jared Parry for Boxing Social in association with William Hill and houseofboxing.com. Delighted to be joined by WBO Cruiserweight champion Chris Billam-Smith. Chris, how are we?
Yeah, all good, thanks mate. All good, yourself?
Very well, thank you. Okay, yourself, Cruiserweight division. There's a few fights being made, a few fights just gone by, like we just seen Jai Apataya just defend his title, Jordan Thompson. But we're all wondering, can you tell us any inkling of when we're going to see you back in the ring?
I'll be out by the end of the year. You know, that's the plan. We're working on things now on who and what and where and what it's going to be. But yeah, no contract signed. But we're trying to work. You know, the team are trying to work on it now. So hopefully have news. You know, we'll have an idea by the end of the week. Maybe next week we'll have some news.
I know you say you're looking for contracts to be signed. Are we heading back to Bournemouth? It was a big night there back in May, you know, we've seen it at the Vitality Stadium, but before that we've seen the big nights at the International Centre as well. Are we going back there for your next fight?
Yeah, I think that's the talk of that, you know, back at the Bournemouth International Centre. Phenomenal venue. Obviously can't do the stadium during season, but it's a smaller venue, but yeah, it's a fantastic venue, so I'm hoping we can get it back there.
I want to start by a tweet that I saw from yourself on the weekend as well. Zurdo Ramirez beat Joe Smith Jr. Cruiserweight fight. It's more of a catchweight, but you know he was already looking for a big fight as Ramirez, and you said anybody fancy a Vegas trip. What interests you about that fight then?
Well, I think at the moment he's my only route to Vegas. You know, that's my next big dream is a Vegas fight. He's obviously, that was an eliminator for the WBA for Goulamirian, I think. So yeah, that's the sort of the next dream for me. I spoke the last one into existence with the stadium and a world title. So now the next dream will be Vegas, but probably be a while till we can get there. But that's what we're working towards now.
How do you rate Ramirez as a fighter? Because obviously he fought a lot in the American cards. He was obviously super middleweight champion. Stepped up light heavyweight. We saw him in with Dimitri Bivol, and I think a lot of people were disappointed. But was that more of a testament of how good Bivol was at light heavyweight, or was Gilberto just one of these Americans brought over that didn't quite live up to the hype? However, he did look good against Joe Smith on the weekend.
Yeah, I've only seen the highlights from the weekend, to be honest. But yeah, I think, look at his record, like it's a pretty solid record, you know, in terms of the wins, but only lost to Bivol, and I think Bivol's underrated still. He's beat Canelo, but everyone's like, yeah, well, Canelo's small, but I think Bivol's still underrated, and he's a phenomenal task for anyone, Bivol. Like, not many people, I don't know if anyone beats him. So I think it's a really interesting, Ramirez is interesting because he's only got that loss to Bivol, so it's yeah, I guess in a way he's a bit of an unknown because obviously got a good win against Joe Smith Jr. at the weekend, but also Joe Smith's sort of that fringe world title level, so it's still hard to gauge, but you know, he's got a fantastic record.
You say then, if we're looking then for you, if you were to say wanting to unify next, there's a lot of whispers around Arsenal Goulamirian, but I think there was a lot of talk that he was going to be fighting Tommy McCarthy, but McCarthy's now fighting Sislak for the European title. A lot of people are saying about Boxer trying to get Riakporhe in with Goulamirian. If Boxer came up to you and said, look, unification next, Goulamirian, jump at it with two hands?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Obviously, there's a rematch clause with Lawrence, and I mean, the two names that we've been speaking about for the next fight has been Masterneck and Lawrence, so I think it will be one of them two, but it's just trying to, you know, the team, that's what they're working on at the moment, but you know, the next fight after this one, I think next year, then yeah, you know, unification for me is the goal.
You say Lawrence is next for yourself. What has been the stumbling block? Because it was the thing that came out where people thought the broadcasting want to put it on. Is there another stumbling block other than that?
I don't know. No idea, to be honest. I think it's hard. He's a hard sell at the end of the day, regardless of who he's in with. He's a hard sell. He hasn't ever lit up with a phenomenal performance. You know, he hits people and they go over. or if they don't go over, he's in a very messy fight and a lot of holding. Our fight was exciting because there was knockdowns, there was points deducted, there was a phenomenal atmosphere. But I think if you watched it on silent on TV, you'd probably be a bit annoyed, and apart from the knockdowns. But I think that's something Lawrence needs to work on, obviously. But he also may be too late in terms of trying to change your style that much, or trying to sell yourself now when you've just you've been the whole career. There's been fights like it. You go back to Matty Askin, you go back to Chamberlain. The build-up's usually more exciting than the fight.
So in terms of that, then it is going to be Lawrence next, but you said the excitement's not there. But are you still up for that fight?
Yeah. I want to fight this year. I'm up for it. I want to be in good fights for fans as well, obviously. But I know a rematch of Lawrence, I'll be a 10 times better fighter than I was the first time. Having the experience of obviously I had this experience sparring him before, but now actually boxing him in 10-ounce gloves and feeling, his shots. Like, it wasn't buzzed once during the fight, and he hit me clean. So that's confidence to take, but also didn't put on enough weight because I was ill during the week. So there was a lot of things on my half and I had to really sort of gauge it as the fight went on of how I was feeling. But next time, fingers crossed, I'll be 100% and I can just go full tilt and full throttle.
So I want to talk about where we are now. We're at a media workout. Adam Azim, your gym mate, European title. How do you rate Adam as a fighter? You see him obviously in the gym. He's become one of the stars on Sky Sports. How do you really rate him as a fighter?
Yeah, I think he's progressing really well. Obviously, the European title in this little fight is impressive. Still got plenty of learning to do, and everyone has. Like, no one turns pro and doesn't need learning fights. I think the last 2 fights have been really good managing. Tough opponents. I think the last fight was a really good performance because he grew through the fight. He listened to Shane in the corner. And did the work what was asked of him. Obviously, it's not everyone wants to see knockouts and stuff, but it's a kid going in there for a European title early on. So he's got lots of learning to do. There's lots of stuff to his game which he can learn, but the foundation's there, the speed's there, the power's there. And now it's just learning a bit more boxing IQ of how to put your shots together, how to layer your shots, how to break people down rather than just hitting them and expecting them to go over. So I think but he's doing that in the gym. He comes back in, he's super hungry, and he's working on it in the gym. He sparred today. So yeah, it's exciting to watch. The likes of him and Caroline and their progression, but. There's learning to do for sure, but I believe he'll do it and he'll become an absolute superstar.
I was about to ask, you mentioned Caroline there. The gym's on a good run of form. Nelly Scottney obviously defended their title same night. Caroline captured the IBO. Is there a real aura in the gym now of everyone's success and everyone's breathing off everyone's success?
Yeah, for sure, and I think there always has been, and that comes from Shane down. Shane obviously started working with Carl Frampton years ago, got him the world title. Other people come in the gym, and the goal is world title for everyone who walks through those doors. And he's obviously, we've got me and Ellie and Caroline now capturing titles, and then we've got Adam going for the European in this show. And you've got Hassan in there who's building, but I think he's injured a little bit at the moment. So he's growing as well and developing, and that's just the standard that's set in the gym. Is just the very, very, very top level, and everyone, even if they don't reach it, they're striving for it. And that aura in the gym just pushes everyone on. You see one person win a world title, then another. And the gym's in a really good place, and they're all good characters as well.
So I'm going to take it now a bit outside of the gym. We had the news the other week, Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk signed. Much to the disbelief of many, to be honest, especially when Fury still got the fight with Ngannou coming up. What's your thoughts? Are you like everyone else, just can't believe and can't wait for it to actually happen?
Yeah, I am, but I'm also, I'll believe it when there's a date and a proper fight poster rather than just 6 letters saying signed, do you know what I mean? Obviously you got the fight in the meantime, maybe it'll get announced straight after this Ngannou situation. But yeah, I mean, until until they're in the ring, or even until fight week. I think maybe fight week I'll start believing it's happening. These fights go. I'm too long in the tooth in boxing to see all these talks and signed and whatever. So yeah, it's for me. Until they're in the ring, it's hard to believe.
Brilliant. Well, Chris, thank you very much for your time and speaking to Boxing Social, and we really hope you get your date soon as well. So thank you very much.